Hello everyone, I'm Brian from Brianoutdoors. Today I'm going to be doing a video from my fly tying bench, and we're going to be tying a fly called the Green Pearl. This is a fly that was originated in Quebec, Canada for Atlantic salmon. Could also be used for steelhead as well. And we've tied this fly up in a couple of different color combinations. A few of the local tyers and fly fishers have been experimenting with it, and we found that you can tie this in a number of different wing colors as well as body colors. With the pearl on the body, turns out real nice. This one has more of a greenish body to it. This one has more of the silver, and we're going to tie these up in a number of different combinations. I have a trip coming up with a number of my friends here for Atlantic salmon, and we're going to be going to New Brunswick, and apparently these are the colors that work well, greens and yellows, for the region that we're going to be fishing. So join me while I tie up the Green Pearl. Alright guys, so the first step obviously is to pick a hook that you'd like to use. I'm using a Gamakatsu green hook. This is a green salmon hook. It comes in a variety of colors. I thought it would be appropriate to tie a green fly on a green hook. I'd like to lay a base layer of white thread, of course, on the fly to start with. And then the first material that you want to use is a oval silver tag. And we'll get that laid on here. Okay, so your next material that you want to apply, I'm going to be using a chartreuse uni stretch material, and you can use, of course, you can use your silk materials as well. I like to use the brighter colors as the butt here on this, and leave a little bit of that hanging out the back because we'll use that to pull over the top after, just to secure the material down as well. And tie that down, and then pull the section that you had in the back here, just pull that forward over the top of the tag material. Okay, next guys, we got to put a tail on, so we're going to be using golden pheasant crest. So try and get one long enough to go past the bend of the hook here. And that way, when you put your wing in, it will actually line up quite nicely. Okay, so the next part of the tail is it calls for red hackle tips. And what I like to do is just take it off in sections. So I'll take it attached to the stem as well. And I'll just snip off a small section. And then we'll be laying this. You want this to come up approximately halfway up your golden crest. Okay, the next material that you want to put in, of course, is a black ostrich herl. And the technique I like to use here, I do something a little bit different here. I actually take the herl and I will wrap it around the thread a few times, just like this. And this gives it a great strength, so that if it ever did break, it's not going to come apart. It's a very fine stem type of material, and if a tooth of a fish gets a hold of that and breaks it, it will unravel on you, unfortunately. So if we do this technique here where we put the thread over it, or wrap it within the thread, spiral it on beforehand, then you can just spiral it on like a dubbing. I'm going to put in a French wire. It's a uni French wire. You can use any wire you want. I use the uni French wire, and this will be a counter rib material that I'll be using, and I tie this on the opposite side, so I will be doing it in the opposite direction. Okay, so for the body material on this fly, I'm actually going to be putting a silver mylar underneath pearl mylar, okay? So the reason I want to do that is so that there's a little bit more of a flash coming through on this particular pattern, and you can put any color you want underneath the pearl. But of course I'm going to put the silver on this one just so I get a little bit more extra flash out of it. So we tie the pearl in first, because that'll be the last body material going on. And then we put the silver in as well. Make sure we secure this down quite well. Run our thread forward. We want to leave quite a bit of room up in the front for our wing material because we're going to have a few different materials going up top there. Tidy that up a little bit. And now we can wrap our pearl mylar material over top of that up as well. So we'll wrap this forward and clean that up a little bit. Okay, now we want to take our counter rib, and I use wire and a little thicker gauge here just because I do like to have this fly secure, wrapping down. I like to get at least 4 to 5. 5 is better if I can, in terms of the that wire in there. And we'll tie that down. Okay, now that we have the body material wrapped in, we come to the hackle or the beard of the fly. In this case, it calls for a guinea hackle. I like to strip one side off like this and just tie it underneath with the tip forward. And as I'm wrapping this, of course, you want to keep one wrap in front of the other so that the material does not go back over top of itself. This way I'll get a nice flare out of the material. Okay, so pull the guinea down a little bit like this, and just kind of do a quarter wrap, a couple of wraps just over the top there, just to kind of secure it in that position there so it's down. And now we'll prepare the wing. Okay guys, next I'm going to put a little bit of green crystal flash as an underwing. I like to put an underwing on this fly, so I take a few pieces and just secure those in, and just fold that over. Run back over that with a couple of tie downs, and of course you want to cut this off in in variations of lengths, just that way they don't stick together and they flow nicer in the water. Okay, so for the wing I'm going to be using a piece of fox tail. This is actually you can buy these in the round. They come in different lengths. I like a little longer if you can find them. This one is chartreuse, and I've prepared by pulling out the underfur and any of the tips that have been a little bit out of whack as well. And we could tie that in here just with a loose turn and then tighten as you go, just like so. Again, this is a fly that you really want to show in the water. You want it to stand out quite a bit. It will be used mainly in waters that have a little bit more color to it, so that's the reason why you want to have something that's a little bit bigger and bulky like that. Okay, so on this fly I'm also going to add another smaller wing in an olive color, and this will just be laid on top of the bright green chartreuse, and just want to extend that a little bit past the first. What I like to do next is put in a couple of strands on each side of some scale material. So I just take one and put it in and then fold it over, of course. That pretty much does the trick for that. So you just have two strands. Okay, so once you got the wing tied in, what I did is I took off the white, tied off the white, went to a black thread, and now we'll finish off the fly. It does call for a black head on the fly, black or green, whatever you'd like to use from there forward. Next it calls for the peacock, so we're going to take, I like between 5 to 7 strands depending on the thickness of your peacock. This is fairly thick. So I've got 5 strands here, and you want to come just to past the end of your wing, of course, and then just in a soft loop, and then tighten it down, okay? And then just kind of make sure that you have the right length for the fly, just like that. That's about perfect right there. Okay, so now we're going to put on our jungle cock eyes. I like to put these on a little bit of an angle up rather than down or sideways. I like to put them on about I don't know, I guess that would be like a 40-degree angle or something like that. So we'll just tie those in. I've got one tied in on my side, on my near side here, now on the far side. See, that looks just about right. Okay, so once you have everything secured down, I always like to put a few whip finishes into my fly to secure it. Again, this is a fishing fly. I want it to last as long as possible, so give that a good secure tie down. Okay guys, well all we have left to do now is to finish off the fly by adding our head cement. I know this fly is going to be used quite a bit, and hopefully it'll last more than a fish or two, so always put a few coats on. And there you have it. There's the green pearl, and as you can see, it's a nice flash, and hopefully it will be successful. So hopefully you can get a chance to tie up a few of these and try them on your local waters, whether it be for Atlantic salmon or steelhead. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching my video on tying the green pearl salmon fly. Hopefully I'll get an opportunity to tie a number of these in different colors and variations. And who knows, you might come up with something that works really well for you on your local waters. And be sure to check out my website at Brianoutdoors.com for more videos on fly tying as well as archery. And till then, straight shooting and tight lines, guys. Bye for now.